Hello everyone, and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And Kiki and I are here to wish you all a happy Canada Day because today is July the 1st, 2023. And for Canadians, I'm all decked out in my Canadian shirt, and Kiki's going to go back up there and watch. So today is Canada Day. And I know that my American friends will be celebrating July 4th in a few days. So I get the feeling that the first day of the month is becoming everybody's favorite day of the month because I get lots of you commenting that you can hardly wait to see what the new month is going to bring. So this is the day when we see our slideshow and I reveal the flower for the next month. And now that I have the community tab, I can announce things there as well. So you want to every now and then take a look at my community tab so you know if you've missed something or if something is coming or I've left an important announcement. So first of all, we have to finish up June, and June was the rose. And I couldn't find this last week, but I have it here now. This is how much I have left over from, I said 3, but I made a mistake. It was just 2 balls of Red Heart Unforgettable in the gossamer color. And this is how much I had left over. Quite pretty what's left there. Not good for making too much of anything though. And here is, once again, here is the shawl that I made. And I will put a link, I'll put a link to the Ravelry page. It is in Ravelry, and I might link the tutorial as well. It's called Time in a Bottle, and it's quite a good size. And I'm going to wear it while I'm down here because it is cool. Yes, 1st of July, and it's still cool. This weather, very strange this year. But anyhow, so that is my finished object for the month of June using the inspiration picture of the roses. Now we're going to see all of your offerings for the month. So you'll pardon me for following my notes, but we had 22 submissions this month. So it keeps getting a little larger every month. And my goal is just to make 24, 2 dozen, or 25. That would be a nice goal to make. And I know some people that didn't get anything in this week. So anyhow, we're going to start. I'm going to sit right here, but I'm going to split the screen with your pictures. So the first 2 come from local friends of mine. The first one is from Rose, who has made a shawl, and that shawl, of course, will go in our donation box. And next we have from Bonnie, also local, a sweater, and I know that this sweater was of her own design. She does that quite a bit. Next, we're going to move on to a couple of doilies from Susan, who lives in New Jersey. And she says they are different patterns, but use the same yarn. Then we have Rebecca. Forgot to look up where Rebecca lives. I'll talk about her again later. She has made this summer solstice poncho by Sarah. And then we get this submission from Tammy, and it sort of looks like a scarf to me. And she said it used the broomstick stitch. Quite pretty yarn and quite an interesting stitch. Something I haven't tried. Then next we have from Rosanna her Easy Shells Stitch Shawl. She says this pattern comes from the Crochet Crowd. And I happen to know from watching Rosanna's channel, Crochet with Nona Rosanna, I think it is. She is making a shawl every month based on the flower that I show. And she is donating all of these shawls to a nursing home, I believe. Next, we have from Deb M, who is and by the way, Rosanna is in Ontario as well. Deb, who lives in Texas, she used some yarn from the Arkansas Sock Society. She has the same subscription I do. And she emailed me ahead and said, what do you think about this yarn we got last month or the month before? Nice and colorful. And she has made Moon Garden, and this pattern is from CJ Brady. I think she's beginning to like CJ Brady as much as I do. Then from Renee, and Renee is in Alabama, and I forgot to look closely. Is this knitted? Knitted or crocheted? You can tell, I'm sure, looking at the picture. She has made this pink sweater. And then from Jane, who is also in Ontario, we have another pink offering. I think pink in that picture must have spoken to people because pink comes across a few times. She said she used a tutorial from Crystal, A Bag O' Day, to make this blanket and hat, baby hat. And then we have Adam, who is in the UK. And Adam has used Magic Glitz, that's an ice yarn, to create this post-virus shawl. This post-virus shawl is a pattern from Crystal. I showed it to you just last week in a different color using my alpaca cake. Next, we have a new viewer to the channel, and I know I'm going to do this wrong. She tried to tell me how to say her name, Magina, and she is from Connecticut, and she has submitted this coaster or mug rug, which is made of cotton. And next, we have Josephine's monthly offering of 3 granny squares. They come from various sources. One is from her Granny Square source book. I think she's found a few in that book. And another one comes from Ophelia Talks. And the last one, which is sort of centered on blue, she said it's just a basic square. But I just love those 2 little adorable rosebuds that she has created, and comes up 3D from the square. Whatever you make at the end of the year, Josephine, it's going to be very unique. Then we have Lillian, who is in Ontario, and she has made this shawl from a pattern from Marley Bird. And next we have Lynn-Ann. Lynn-Ann has a channel called Nina's Knots Crochet, and she's in Florida, and she has made this blarf. She says it's a combination of blanket and scarf. And she took it with her when she spent a few long hours in the hospital with her husband recently, and she wanted something that she didn't need a pattern. She could just do her own thing, and so she made up the stitches as she went, and she enjoyed it so much she's going to make some more of them. So that's the beauty of crochet. You know, we can do our own thing, and that's fine as long as we like it, and of course we want to enjoy it. Now next, from Barbara B, who lives in Missouri, she sent me a picture of this fidget ball. And I had never seen a fidget ball before. I thought it was quite cute, very intricate how she got all of those, everything in and out and amongst. I think that would be an interesting project to make. So thank you for that. And it's nice and bright and cheerful. Then we have Barbara M, who is from Calgary. That's in Alberta, folks. She made this Felix top, and there's Barbara modeling it for us, and it's from Divine Debris. Very nice job. Then we have an offering from Debbie P, who is also in Arizona. And she says she was making a shawl for this month, and she just ran out of time and couldn't get it finished. So she decided she had just recently finished a cardigan for her granddaughter, again in pink. Something about that picture says pink to a lot of us. And she said it was just a freehand cardigan that she made by measuring her granddaughter as she made it, and her granddaughter certainly loved the nice fluffy borders on it, and I think I would love it too. Next we have Jody from Minnesota, and again Jody is new to us, and she has made a scarf. Actually, she has knit this scarf. And then next, we have Denise, who is in North Carolina. And she has made this shawl called Love of My Life. And it is a pattern from Crystal at Bag O' Day. It's a pattern that I've had on my list to consider making. I just don't get around to all the things I want to do. Now the next one, I'm going to give you a little bit of background and history, not history, but explanation here. This is from Sigal, who lives in Israel. And she is showing us part of, it is not a complete object. It is going to be very, very large. And it was a year-long cow from Shapes. It was their 2020 cow called D'Histoire Naturelle. And she did the first section. They give it to you in 6 sections, I think. The first section is the square in the center. And she says it went in timeout, as I call it. And she said she decided this year she was going to pick something out of her UFO, some people call it whip, UFO pile, and get to work and finish it this year. And then she said that my inspiration for June inspired her to pull this out of the closet. And she finished the hexagon, which was part 2, in time for this month's showing. And she really worked hard. She told me she was going to try and finish round 3 for this month. And she said she didn't quite get finished round 3. Now round 2 is the, if I didn't say it already, is the hexagon. Now she's working in a circle. And she says she's at round 55, which is about halfway through this project. So she's got a lot more to do, and it's very intricate. And I've seen many of these kinds of blankets not something I would ever tackle myself. But good luck to you, Sigal, in getting this finished. But she felt that all of the colors lended itself to this month's inspiration picture. And next we have Cindy, who's in Costa Rica, and she has done this shawl. And as soon as I saw it, my initial reaction was, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's just so many colors and so bright and cheerful. We could call it Cindy and the Amazing Technicolor Shawl. And it was made with ice yarns. That's what she mostly works with. And finally, our 22nd offering for this month is from Carrie, who lives in Ontario. And you may all recall that her thing to do is amigurumi. So this looks like a little unicorn kitty cat with all of the little flowers, and nice and colorful. Now, we happened to have a conversation a while back, and I remember her saying that she had a son that made stitch markers and I think earrings. Her son is 12 years old, and she likes to, of course, foster this kind of thing in him. And I said to her, you know what, if he can find some that come close to our colored picture, tell him I'd be happy to show some of his pictures. And I didn't think some of his things that he's made. I didn't think you'd mind another picture or two. I have 2 extra pictures this week. So here's some of what her son Max has made, stitch markers and earrings. Isn't it nice to see a young man doing crafts? And finally, I have another picture, not to do with our monthly cal at all, but I didn't think you'd mind. And that is a picture that Rebecca sent me. Rebecca, I showed one of her things earlier. What did she have? Rebecca had the poncho near the beginning. But she happened to be the winner in February. You know I do a winner every month. And she won a gradient cake, like I showed last week. And she said she'd never worked with anything like this before. So it was a challenge to her to make this shawl. And so she sent me this picture. I thought you'd like to see it. I find it very interesting that when people receive items from me, I love to see the pictures of what they do with it. And she didn't tell me whose pattern. But thank you, Rebecca, for sending this picture, and I'm sure we all enjoyed to see it. And she enjoyed working with it so much, she has gone and got some more gradient cakes to work with. Yeah, they can be habit forming. So, those are the pictures for this month. And what's the next thing? The next thing is that we have to pick a winner for this month. So let me find our wheel. And I did check and double check that I did this correct. Here it is. Here is our wheel of names. Give it a minute to load here. Here is our wheel of names. Everybody's on there. And I'm going to spin it and wait for it to stop. It's making noises like it's spinning. And there is our winner, Lynanne. Lynanne in Florida, and she did the blarf. So I'll be sending you a gradient cake, Lynanne. I know you got some. I saw your video where you showed your Hirschner haul, but you didn't get quite as many, and I will find one to send on to you. So congratulations, Lynanne. So now what you've all been waiting for, sitting on the edge of your seats. First of all, I just want to give a bit of an explanation because in the last week or two, I have really added a number of people to my subscriber list. I'm up very, very close now to 900, 890 something. So I increased, I'm going to say 70 subscribers in the last 10 days. So very quickly, I want to explain what this is about. Every month, and I'm going to do it right now at the first of the month, I show a flower. I went on the internet and found what the flower of the month was for every flower this year. I show you an inspiration picture, which is the picture we all use to decide the colors, to find colors to make something. You can make anything you want, small or big. You saw from the slideshow you just finished watching that people make everything, and I have to have it by the end of the month to do the slideshow. And this time I'm not going to forget to look up a date. It can be crocheted, it can be knitted, you can weave, you can do whatever needle craft you like to do. Obviously, I'm a crochet channel, so most of the submissions are crochet, and we do get a couple of knitted every month as well. Then I show them all at the end of the month, and I pick a winner, as you saw now. The other thing is, I asked, now that the month is over, you will see I have posted in Ravelry, so you can go to my Ravelry thread and add your pictures there. I don't think it's there yet. I'll do it tonight or tomorrow. I will post on Instagram, and you can add yours to Instagram with the hashtag Judy's Cal 2023. You'll find that in the description box below. And I am also going to put information up in my community tab. So anybody that's new, we hope you'll join in. So for the, let's show the flower now. That's what everybody's waiting for. So I'm going to put it across the screen for a minute. The flower for July is larkspur. Now, the larkspur represents positivity, dignity, and purity. Interestingly enough, when I was looking for yarn, I had some picked out, but I wasn't 100% happy with it. And you know, I'm a big fan of EFA, that's Expression Fiber Arts. And they happen to use as an inspiration picture the larkspur. Their picture was very similar to my picture, and they used that as an inspiration for dyeing some yarn that they are calling larkspur. July larkspur it's called, and here it is. Well, you can see that I would really, really like it. They have never shown it in a fingering weight. This is their pearlescent worsted. See, you can tell it's a little bit thicker. And this yarn is, well, I know being pearlescent, it's 50% merino and 50% mulberry silk. And it has 201 meters or 220 yards. I wasn't sure what I could make with that amount, so I actually have 2 skeins of it. And this one has a little more green in it than the other. But I love the colors, and it fits with the picture real well. I'm going to put the picture up here in the corner, and show my yarn beside it. And you can see that it goes fairly well with the inspiration picture. And pearlescent, whether it be worsted or fingering, just feels heavenly. It's very silky. And I think I have a pattern picked out for it. It is an EFA pattern. So I'm looking forward to getting started on it. I'm doing something right now I need to finish, so it'll be next week before I get started on it. But it's a little different. I'm really kind of looking forward to doing that. Now, one last bit of information. I know you're going to be sending your pictures in to me. I can hardly wait to see what you make this month. It's always a surprise to me. And the 1st of September is a Friday. So I'm going to need your pictures by Tuesday, August the 29th. Tuesday, August the 29th. Now, the fact that it's on a Friday, am I going to do a video on Thursday and again a video on Friday? I want to think about that. I might just decide to leave my Thursday and incorporate it with Friday and do one big video on Friday. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong month. We're in July, not August. Oh my goodness. Sorry, people. Scratch all of that. The 1st of August, which is when I'll be doing this, is a Tuesday. So I will want your pictures by Friday evening, July the 28th. I'm sorry for confusing you like that. I will be sure to mention it again, and I will post it in the community tab. So by Friday, July the 28th, I need your pictures. And actually, we could go Saturday. I'm going to stick with the 28th. It was the 28th this month as well. Friday, because weekends can get busy. And if you could send it on a weekend, you'd forget. So we're going to say Friday, July the 28th, I need your pictures so that I can put together my slideshow. So thank you once again for participating this month. We seem to grow a little bit each month, and I am looking forward to what I get in July using larkspur as the inspiration. And remember, we are now in July, so when you see me again, we'll be doing Christmas in July. But until you come back again, happy hooking.